Y'all rise for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
President Barbie Trent.
Here.
Vice President Joe Adam.
Here.
Calvin Glass. Robert Lee. Jack Root.
Yes.
Reverend Gerald Spade.
Here.
Kevin Swager. Mayor Margaret Marolina.
Okay, we have need a few minutes to go over the minutes from the previous meeting.
Respectfully, I have some talking points, and I have the corrections that I'd like to see in there, if we may. I know that our Honorable Secretary Treasurer learned a lot, but I was hoping that she could put a few points in the minutes of things that stood out for her. That's number one. The resolution number for the one resolution that we enacted, resolution 12, in the minutes on the 22nd, and then who helped. Who covered several people, and that's for the minutes of 2000, or from November the 4th. I'd like the actual names of the people that helped develop the budget, that assisted me in doing that. And I respectfully ask that they be added and the corrections of the minutes. Thank you.
Where are you talking about?
Okay, A is the Finance and Treasurer's Report, November 4th. The resolution is new business on the 22nd, and the who helped is on November 4th's meeting minutes.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad you know what I was talking about.
As far as capturing what Secretary Trent did at the training session, minutes is supposed to capture minutes of the meeting. It's not a play-by-play of every second of what happens in a meeting. It's to capture the highlights of the meeting, things that are pertinent. And one of the things that Ms. Trent learned at the training session was that as long as she even has just the motions that were made in the minutes, that's passable.
I agree. But the statute says full and complete. Full. And I think that it would be great to have historically, because these are historical documents that we're creating, should see what we paid for. How much did we actually spend to put you in school?
It was $125, I think.
Yeah, but I mean for the hotel and mileage and all that, we're talking close to what, $400?
It'd be a little bit less than that, yeah.
Yeah. But it'd be nice to see a report from that, and I tried to do the same thing when I had 2 meetings last month, and
pass the sign-in sheet. Or do they have a
Signing
sign-in
sheets right here.
Guys, can you sign in please for me? Thank you so much.
But it's to be full, and so that a person can have a good conception of what happened. And I agree that motions are our only thing necessary. We don't have to put the discussion in, but to put in there that appreciated somebody helping, who helped? You know, that's the question I have. And she learned a lot. What was the lot? You know, people are going to question in the future.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm just making a statement that sometimes less is best.
I was
That's
just
all I'm
bringing-
saying. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
I think
If
less.
the rest of you are all fine with it,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Okay.
Anybody else have any corrections or
I don't.
you don't? Jack, you okay with it?
I'm listening.
Do I have a motion to accept the minutes with the corrections Reverend Spade had made mention of?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with the corrections that Reverend Spade wanted to be placed forth on it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Visitors and guests, who wants to go first? Or are we all together on the same subject?
We're all together on the same subject.
Pretty much. When I talked to you earlier, that's why.
That was it?
That was why I came earlier, that's all.
All right, Jack, thanks so much. Who wants to go?
You wanna talk?
No, just to reiterate, I mean, Joe wasn't here, but Joe and Jack, I'm sure, is aware, you know, Jerry, I talked to Jerry, he wanted to have like a slight explanation of the relief account versus fire company, you know, and they are two separate entities.
Mhm.
The monies that you give us in October is earmarked to go to a relief association that gives you fire protection, and it goes to a relief, which is an affiliated body of the fire company. It's used toward safeguarding of equipment and safeguarding of the firemen, is what the act calls for, Act 205 and Act 8. I've only been out a month about the act already, the old Act 84. But they are two separate things, and I question about you being on the budget. I agree that it could be on the budget, but you don't know what you're gonna get.
I
So
agree.
always remember that. So if you plug,
Yeah, it varies every year.
if you plug in $4,500 as an income on the budget for next year, you gotta show that exact amount going back out as Act 205 monies. Because it's gonna be a wash. It's more like a pass-through. On it,
Understand,
okay?
okay.
I think that's what we talked about, Jerry. That was pretty
This
much
is,
it.
well, you were really explaining real well
The workman's
to one
comp.
person.
Yeah,
You said there are two different arms,
yeah.
and you were
It's the
starting to
same
go
body, but two
into it.
different organizations. That's basically how I've always explained it.
Now, help me here,
Mhm.
okay? I mean, this is my first year doing this and I need help, okay? Now, you said to me when you first got here that we wouldn't know what the pass-through amount would be until March.
Well, maybe March or
Maybe March.
July. I'm not sure exactly. I know that you have to apply for it. And that's, the application goes in the first part of the year. End of February, March, April, that time span. And then the state gets everything pulled together about July something. And then the monies are released in September.
Okay,
And that's when you mail in your 706B form.
Yeah.
That goes in.
okay, but in order to include that in the budget, we have to do that at the beginning of the year, do we not?
Well, yeah, it's a pass-through.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. If you put $1,000 down as an income,
Mhm.
you're going, as Act 205 monies, you're gonna show for Act 205 monies going out for the exact amount.
Right,
So you can't say that you're gonna have a higher income here and less over here, because it's a pass-through. You don't get to keep anything.
So how do I fix that as far as the budget?
Well, that's why I said, I don't know if I would
Is-
include it.
Are these the two correct, categories that we have under fire department?
Well, you call it a fire insurance pass-through, which is fine. I mean, it's Act 205 monies or foreign fire insurance monies. That's all the same terminology.
Is that too low or too high?
No, well, that's about right, 1,900, but that number changes yearly.
So if it changes like by a couple hundred, it's really not a big deal?
It's not a big thing, as long as you show it over here as income and over here as expense, the same amount.
The opposite side.
Okay.
That's our expenditures there.
Okay,
And then the income is on the right-hand side.
over here, Greg.
Yeah, that's our income.
Okay, now I don't see,
We
yeah,
don't-
1,900, you have the same amount.
Mhm.
That's what I would do, you know, if you wanted to include it in the budget.
Yeah, we
Now-
kind of just wanted to do one side, you know,
Right.
do the same thing.
Now, the workman's comp is 12.5. You're going to show the council paying out the 12.5, but you're not gonna get 12.5 from the Carrie M. White. You're gonna get a smaller portion because and you have that there, 7,600 roughly.
Right.
And the borough's responsible for their share.
Right,
But we don't set that.
right,
That was Swift Company that sets the amount, but the proportion that the two townships pay toward it is something that Kim supplied to Nicole, you know, on a percentage basis, and she knows enough to know it's population based upon, I think it's population, I think that's what.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
based
it
on
is.
She
population.
changed it
Yes,
on.
thank you, Jeff.
okay,
Okay, does that make sense?
yeah, it does. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm bad.
Everybody-
I am bad
wrong
with
today.
things. I am
You're
bad with
good.
things.
I got it wrong today.
Everybody knows that.
Okay, now, we have another dilemma with the fire company, okay, that I am well aware of, and I think y'all are well aware of, okay. We got a solicitor. And we had spoken about meeting with the fire company, cause we all need to have a contract. And our solicitor, got elected as the DA,
Right.
and now we don't have a solicitor anymore,
Our boy Ryan.
yeah.
We have until January
Well,
first.
yeah, we have them until January 1st, but, so what Reverend Spade had said that he is to refer us to another solicitor, but there was also somebody who also, at the same time that Ryan had,
In mind.
gave us, a letter of intent, somebody else also gave us a letter of intent. And we are awaiting his, you know, if he's going to accept that position or not. So please know that I am well aware that we need to meet, we need to come up with a contract, that solicitor needs to be well aware, so that we can meet with your solicitor and our solicitor, and we can get this underway, so that you guys,
The big thing to remember is it's either call it an agreement or a contract. You're flipping feathers for wording.
I would rather have an agreement.
It's the same, an agreement is the same thing as a contract.
Right,
It's a legal binding documentation. If you wanna call it a documentation, that's fine.
So we have to bring the solicitor in on this. Can't we just sit down and negotiate and do it?
If it's a contract,
I
all
would
legal
rather-
matters are supposed to be done by a solicitor.
They can be cleared through the solicitor.
In other words, what I'm stating is, rather than have him sit in and we end up with a $5 bill, let's negotiate the situation and take our findings to the solicitor, and he can approve it in 15 minutes.
and I'm okay with that.
That's a better way to handle it, actually.
In other words, I'm just trying to save us the money.
And I'm okay with that. I don't have a
Well
problem with
then,
that at
why
all.
don't we just do it?
Okay. I'm game.
I would say table it to the next council, to be honest, so that you have your solicitor in place and you have, a new council is gonna need to do all this anyway. It's not for us four to do tonight without, it's unfair that we have three councilmen not here.
Well, I feel it's not, wouldn't be fair to them that way, but I also feel that there's no reason why the solicitor we have now till the end of December could not work something out if you have another meeting with the fire, because it wasn't everybody on council that met with the fire company. It was just a group from council and a group from the firemen.
No, it was
It's
like,
you,
what was it,
Calvin,
me
You
and
had, like-
Kevin and Kelvin and,
Me,
Right.
Jack.
So if you're if you still wanna negotiate that way, then get the solicitor involved to look at that, then go with it.
And also, this would put it in the budget for next year, which they have a right to
Right.
well,
renegotiate.
we can reopen the budget, what, in
Right.
January?
Yes,
And
right.
open it up and have it put in.
But right now, tonight, want to negotiate this out tonight, has the solicitor get approved.
I object to that. I motion to table. You can call another meeting, this month if you wanna do it.
Call another meeting if you wanna do that. Just,
May I interject something?
Yes, you can.
It's probably best, and I somewhat agree with Jerry tabling it, but you need to set probably a committee. I mean, I know that the former council did not like the word committees. You had a park committee, you had a fire police committee, you had fire and police, you had a
Right.
street committee. Those were
We
just.
have a new president.
I know. Let me speak to it.
Okay, I apologize.
This is-
Jack has the table.
This is something that the council needs to do. I mean, like Joe was saying, they need to negotiate little things it's an open negotiation. I mean, other council members are allowed to sit in, but the trouble when you get too many, then you break the sunshine law. And going down to 5, you're going to have a hard time not breaking the sunshine law. That's gonna be a problem for you down the road.
I agree.
But with that being said, set a committee, and it's not fair. I go back to what Jerry said. It's not fair to say, Jack and Joe, you're on the committee when their terms are up at the end of the year. I agree. But at the same respect, it's not fair what the borough has done to the fire company. For lacking of a contract for this whole year.
And I agree.
I mean, what if the fire company members decided to say, hey, your house is on fire, we're not coming to anybody in Coalport? We're not gonna do that, but you don't have a contract or an agreement for fire service.
And I agree.
I mean, that's, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody in particular or anything, but it's something that you need to get clear with your attorney, your solicitor, and he's gonna tell you that one of your obligations of a borough is to supply fire service. Now, we're fortunate in our area, when you say fire service, you get EMS, RQRS, and you get rescue service as well. A lot of towns just give fire protection,
Correct.
and that's it. Or a lot of fire companies only provide fire protection.
I'll read
Thank
it.
you.
Oh, you yield this one? Madam President, the workers' compensation law suggests very strongly having contracts, since how are they an employee when we don't have any contract with them? And so they clearly show that. But I still think that the new council needs to be the one that does this, and not this council, because this is the end. This is my last meeting.
Didn't you have enough write-ins?
No.
Can't you go down and sign the?
No, the only way is if the new council would appoint me, but they may not want me on. So they have the right, I've already checked on that. They don't take it even though the Honorable Calvin Glass moved out of the borough.
And the law states you have to be a resident.
You have to be a resident.
It's
It
not
doesn't
like-
pass
not like
on to the
authority.
lower, I had like 30-some votes. So,
At one time, I always thought you could go down and say, this is me, this is me, this is me,
yeah,
on different versions of your name.
well, that's what she told me this, but it doesn't pass. It passes to the new council. They appoint somebody for that term of the Honorable Calvin Glass. So he won the seat. If I would have had 16 more votes, I might have been on. But I'm getting shot in the foot twice, and I'm gonna bring it up tonight if you wanna listen to it again. I really think that our solicitor would talk with your solicitor, and that we can do, it's in my talking points for later under right to know.
Well, I don't know why our solicitor needs to talk to your solicitor.
Because
Because,
it's gonna be illegal, we would have to, this council, or the new council would have to do an ordinance for the fact that there would be a surcharge on a water bill.
yes, but you guys are required to have a solicitor look over your legal documents.
That's correct.
We are not.
Well, it's,
Why
We-
would
we're the-
we double bill? We're trying to save everybody money, okay? And when we're talking about solicitors versus solicitors,
no, it's, you have to get it's a contract that you have to do, with the borough by doing an ordinance. It has to be published, it has to be enacted, it would have to be
why do
enacted
we
in,
need an ordinance? Is this going to be a law?
yes, it's gonna be.
It's going to be a law that we have a contract with the fire company.
No, I'm talking about a surcharge on the water. Jack and I are talking about,
What
You're
surcharge
bringing
on the water?
that up.
We
now.
started doing
You didn't
this
bring
yet.
that up. You brought up something different there.
oh, I thought you understood. I was talking about a surcharge.
No.
Yeah, okay.
This is
No, I,
new.
that,
Yeah, but if we would have been able to do the fire service, we've been able to give you
We're
11,000.
moving right
I'm
along
sitting on the water authority, and I'll tell you right now, Jerry, you're gonna have a hard time getting our board to be your collection agency.
there. Get this
Well,
out of my way.
that's not really
Yes,
exactly.
yes,
what-
it is. Yes, it is, because somebody has to collect those monies.
So yeah, it would be on the bill.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I don't think that will happen.
But see, here's why I
Clearfield-
said.
I'm only one of 9 on the
Well,
board.
you know what? We're not even on that subject right now.
Okay, we're on.
We're on something else totally different.
Yeah, right.
I wonder where we're going there.
Here's Clearfield.
Okay,
That's,
Jerry, we're not doing this right now.
Oh, I'm just showing him so he understands. So. Madam President, you.
We talked about this a little bit at that
this is something
special
different,
meeting.
Jerry. That's something different. That's not,
It's not what I was told.
Okay, hold on a minute. Do you guys have anything else? You guys good?
No, just wanted the update on the where we were progressing.
so you're planning on having a committee or through the new
I'm all
council?
for committee meetings and stuff.
You're what, you are, you're not?
Yeah, I am. I am. I think they're good ideas.
I mean, I think they are too, and because that way you can discuss and take it back to the respective bodies.
Yeah.
And that's what we talked about doing back in August,
Mhm.
but it just didn't happen.
We met once.
Yeah.
And we met and we talked
That was the
about like
same
the
day
solicitor
that
and everything.
that was the same day we found out about the insurance issue. So that was a long time ago. And then we haven't heard nothing from you since then.
Right.
Now I understand there's other issues that you had to deal with during the summer, which but now we're in winter.
Anything else? We're good? Okay. Well,
I just want to address about getting a sump pump.
we need a sump pump.
We worked on it for a couple hours today and still can't get the float right for it. And it's all one unit. Just need the float, don't need.
That
Pump works good.
needs a float. Okay, we need a sump pump.
I make a motion that we let Walt have the authorization. I prefer to get it at Lucas's and not Riggle
Regal Mart is $65 and you had to have so many adapters on it.
Well,
It's
just
just been our hope.
go to Lucas's and get whatever is suitable that will work, that's a decent one, that'll last a while. You
This
know,
lasted 2 years.
now, we need to have one for more than 2 years. I mean, stay within reasonable amount, but get something that will take care of the pickup hole that's in the floor and push it out if we got
Yeah.
significant rain. You know
Okay.
what we need. I think that one was a 1/2 horsepower,
Yes.
so something around that size.
I'll second it.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I have Glendale Fire Company under old business. Is this the same stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Moving right along.
I got some stuff from the mayor.
Okay.
I don't know what do you have stuff from the mayor too?
No.
All right, Joe's going to give the report of the mayor.
I'll give what she gave me. If anybody has got their new book and has any questions, in the questions and answers, it pretty much tells you what you have to do to start your new year out. The mayor will will open a new meeting on the 6th, run it through till you do whoever she has to swear in, and we'll go from there. So that part's pretty much in the questions and answers, if you wanna know that.
Yeah, that was real good.
Okay, and she has a proclamation made up for the Christmas parade, which is December 8th. Lineups at 3:30 at the CMA church. Parade's at 4. They will go to the fire hall. Santa will be there and treats are to be given out. Then after that, they go to the Christmas lighting at the garden club.
What time?
3:30 lineup, parade at 4. And I think the tree lighting's right around 5 o'clock. It
What
may
day
vary.
is this?
Hmm?
What day is it?
December 8th, should be the second Sunday of the month.
Yes.
And also, she says about the November 15th to the April 15th parking on Main Street. From 2 a.m. till 6 a.m. She's looking and wants to know if anybody wants to volunteer to be a ticket writer for that particular item. We're not looking at we're looking at other ones because of Kirby not being marked, but that one there to be enforced so that PennDOT can plow curb to curb. Anybody want to do it?
Secretary said she wanted to be a code enforcer.
There you go, girlfriend.
Well, she told me that at the election booth.
Yeah, that's pretty much what she had asked me. She did plan on coming tonight, but she has some other issues to take care of and do, so I talked to her about 15 minutes before I came to the meeting, so that's what she had given me to make a report out on. Yeah, that's pretty much what she had on that. I have some other stuff here farther into the meeting. Under new stuff, a couple of things here that has to do with more for the building than anything. We'll take care of that then. So that was the mayor's report.
Alright. Reverend Spade, right to know law report.
As I announced in previous meetings, I had 2 meetings. The first meeting was with that's not really right, but in the last meeting, let me deal with this one first. The dirt, gravel, low volume grant was submitted. 2 of them were submitted, and I'll pass them around if you want to look at them. These were submitted. I'm very thankful for Ms. Holder's, Rebecca Holder of Dirt and Gravel, Clearfield County Conservation District, for her assistance. And secondly, for the assistance of our Honorable Vice President Joseph Adams, who signed the documents. I did it more digitally so that it could be sent in. And these will be in value, if they are granted, $69,220.16. The second meeting that we had in the month was with Mrs. Amon, and that was very enlightening. I put in your packet of documents this revised edition of the budget, and one of the things that she taught us was all these new numbers, categories under the Municipal Services Department budget, which is altogether different than what the one was shown. We can put lighting under that instead of coming out of our general fund, which would give you extra money if you need it for fire company.
We do 6 months of streetlights right now.
Excuse me?
We take 6 months for the streetlight bill
Uh-huh.
out of Highway 8 right now.
Well, you can take it for the whole year. You don't have to do it.
Well, I just changed it because it
They
used to
said
be.
before, they said it was 6 months.
Nope. This is what we learned new in that meeting, and you're welcome to come. And I asked the Honorable Secretary to correct me if I say anything incorrect. So she's quiet right now, so that's good. But there are a lot of things, the categories there for signage, for, I just put the 5,000 because you had it under road maintenance. Also, streets were up in, if you look on the first page, it was up here under streets. Well, I moved it down to this just to show you, because this is not the real budget. You already posted the real budget. But this is, if you needed extra money, you can transfer the responsibility to liquid fuels. Anything that touches the road, the maintenance men, whatever work they do on the streets is covered. And you see all the categories there: minor equipment purchases, computer and training. We did budget $1,000. Major equipment and purchases, agility projects, cleaning the streets and gutters, winter maintenance service, traffic control devices. If you need a stop sign, if you need all that can come out of the liquid fuels, and so on if you go down through the rest of the list. And according to what I have here, we also found out that the Z block had nothing to do with the liquid fuels. All that the secretary had to do was transfer that money out of general fund, the 26,000 odd cents, into, we were hoping that she would do it that day or the next day.
Which I did do it try to do it the next day. To connect the two accounts, I mean, it's not really connecting, but to be able to wire the money, I had to have to wait for a little fee to be put into the Pliget account, so I know that that's the correct account that it went into. So if I don't get that account, like if I don't get the statement and it has it on it, then I'm just going to write the check and send it to Pliget for them to deposit it.
And that will guarantee that we, in March of 2020, we'll get our liquid fuels, which is not quite as much as we got last March in 2019. Because we did,
liquid fuel.
yes, we did, we got it. 26,000 some, it was put into the account. And we have all, anybody that wants to look at them, we have all the Pliggage accounts data here. And she is going over it and going to have another meeting with us. Miss Mary Amon, she's going to come back and she promised to come back to meet with our secretary and treasurer and to ferret out, because we do have some violations again, but we can address those before March 2020. So we will get not 26,000, we'll get, I lost my email and I hope you have it. It's 25,838 or something like that.
I think it's around there.
Pretty close to that. I know it's 25,000 we are going to get. We had a good meeting. She was here 4 hours. She gave us an awful lot of information. This was probably the key items here that we can utilize liquid fuels. I know that the new council probably will want to save it for doing streets, but hopefully those 2 grants that I submitted will give some aid to some of our streets. And it was a little hard getting asphalt quotations, but I finally got one, but I also used a calculator that I found on the website. And I tried to get quotes from 3 different places.
Did Mr. Gusby get back to you?
No,
You didn't?
no, it's holiday season, everybody's out of the office. I'll try again though, and but the applications are applied. You are welcome to go to the review board meeting if you would like.
When are we going to know if we have been approved for this funding?
Well, it has to go through the review. You probably won't hear anything about it until January or February. And she promised to send a notice so that if, most people don't go to these, but I'd like to go. Even though I won't be on council, I'd like to go and see the process of how they're looking at the grants.
Where do they do this at?
I guess down in Clearfield someplace. I'm not sure.
I thought maybe they got sent to Harrisburg and went.
That's what I thought.
Well, it could be. I don't know. She made it sound like it was going to be local.
Well,
Yeah.
it very well could be, but.
Yeah, since it's Clearfield County, I
Yeah.
mean, it's in the district, it's their program and they're the ones that are going to be dispersing the monies. Any questions? I yield back the balance of my time then. But the Z block only referred to some outstanding documents, and I believe you said tonight it was in 2015. So.
Those are the ones that Catherine did, correct?
Yes.
Bobby, can I ask a question, a couple of questions? I just want to clarify in my mind. Your liquid fuels, do you have to have that in a separate account?
Yes,
Yes, it's in a Pliggett account.
Okay,
I have all that. if you
because
wanna
I know
look at it.
last year that prior councils wanted to combine everything and
Right.
Oh, no, everything that could be put in a general account was, like, I don't know how many accounts there
So
were.
then you did
There were
keep-
like 10 different
you
accounts,
did
but
keep Pliggett separate.
Pliggett had
I
to
kind
be
of figured that
separate.
would be.
Yeah.
And the other question, Jerry, you keep mentioning two grants. You mentioned the stone and gravel grant.
Yes.
What streets are you looking at? Does it have to be unpaved?
Well, in the meeting that we had.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm glad to answer your question. The question is, what streets did we look at? Because of the delay in when I could start these grants, because we didn't have a resolution 12, our meeting was the 7th, and we met with Rebecca Holder, who is the director of Dirt and Gravel.
Yeah,
She came here, sat right there, and Walt was there, Mr. Huey was there, and Mr. Massis.
Morrissey.
I'm sorry, was here. And I have a digital recording of all that, so if
yeah.
you.
No,
if you wanted-
my question goes back to, I was always, from the township, from what I thought it was like unpaved streets or roadways, that's why I was, and you're saying that you can use it?
We
for
spent
paving?
an hour and a half, we drove around the borough.
I mean, you have like from Tom Spangler from Greg's up to
Yeah,
that might qualify.
well, they want, wood and spruce is one of the projects. I didn't get a narrative for that one, and I didn't work on that because of the time. I mean, my last one was, my last project was submitted this
Yeah.
morning.
Okay, and then the second grant was, what was it?
Well, Union Street, from Pine Street to, is it Laurel? Laurel. Is,
No, I thought he only. I thought
no,
he
it's
only
went to Hickory?
Went to.
Which one's Mr.
Walnut.
Walnut.
Pine to Walnut.
And that, it's like 850 feet. It's in, if you wanna look at the
I was
grant,
just curious.
you're welcome to
No,
look at the
I was
grant.
just curious.
I don't know
It
where
is
they are.
like, what it is, I think I know what you're asking. What it is, it's considered dirt and gravel, but what happens is, when it's laid out, it puts you in mind of dirt and gravel. But after a few washouts of rain,
Yeah,
it turns hard like cement.
yeah.
So it's basically like a
Yeah,
macadam
McCary
road.
Township used it.
Yeah,
Well, Union's, grant is going to have a layer, 900 by, 2 inches by 20 inches wide of new surface.
20 feet. No, that's
20
just-
feet.
20 feet wide.
20 feet,
Yeah,
yeah.
what did I say?
Okay, thank you,
Oh, 20.
thank you, I was
Thank
just
you.
curious.
Bicycle path.
But where is that grant? Oh, there they are, right here. I think this would make more sense to you if you took a look at these. Thank you, Councilor. We had 3 of
He's
them.
talking about, the road that's there in the base is bad.
Shot.
You go down to the point where you put a non-penetrative type of cloth material down to keep moisture from coming up through. Then you start with number 3 stone, and you build so much of that up. Then you go to 2A and build it up. Then you go from there on, and then it goes in like 2 steps. That how they would put this on and roll it, and then they come back after a period of time and put it back more on and roll it, put it on and roll it. The idea is to get a good
I was
base,
just curious.
and there's catch basins and some new drainage
Saw that.
to get rid of a lot of the water problems that they're, and that's on a lot of streets is that way.
Yeah, they're gonna go down a depth of a foot approximately.
Okay.
And the microfiber, the geo microfiber goes on the base, bottom, as Vice President explained. And, so then the new pavement, which they may not pay it, may not give it to us, the money that $18,000, but
Why?
because they don't, it's usually dirt and gravel.
That's why, yeah,
And-
but also on your application here, when I read it here, it says dirt, gravel, and low volume.
Yes.
So all our streets
So
are pretty
low-
much low
low
volume. If we
Yeah.
put a counter, I got borrowed a counter from North Central District, Barry Mays. He brought one in and set it up, and it had to be below like 500 cars for a day, and we didn't have 500 for a week on the particular road. And it can't be over Thanksgiving through Christmas. There's timelines when you can't have it around holidays because of increased traffic.
I wish you luck on that. I really do.
Thank you. The East Railroad, I said most likely we'll get that one, for sure. And
That would be basically from like where Belgium lives over through the Spruce right here, where it's like potholes on potholes
Yeah.
along there.
where the tip used to be.
Yeah,
And because it's by that tributary, it kind of, is we got 35 points just to have that meeting. And we need 219 to clinch the deal, but I think because there's a good narrative, which was not written by me, it was written by Miss Holder, and I really appreciate what she did. A lot of help on it. Still took a lot of hours. And I appreciate the vice president. He did a lot of telephoning for me, so that helped out.
I didn't do that much.
Meant a lot to me.
Just kept a chair down so it didn't blow away.
But that was 2 meetings that we had with Miss Zaman, who that was very productive. I wish everybody would have heard what she had to say.
She did say though that if you guys want her to, she will come back and she'll explain the exact same stuff to you that she did to us.
Thank you.
Is that all you got?
That's it, except I wanted to bring that surcharge up again, and it seems like there's a lot of resistance to that, but hey, it's $16,800. Could you use $1,680 if we were able legally to put $5 onto the water and sewerage bill as a surcharge? And I'll show you, and Jack says it's something else, but it's not. It says borough surcharge.
That would be on the residents of Coalport only, right?
Yes.
Because it couldn't go on township or anything that way
No.
either.
Nope. It's strictly, there's 280 customers, take that times 5 times 12.
Okay, but Reverend Spade, here's what you gotta look at,
Okay.
okay? You put the surcharge on the bills of Coalport Borough residents, okay? So, they pay the surcharge, okay? You still have to consider the water authority, who then, all this money goes on to the water authority. The water authority then has to consider how much of a check they then have to return to Coalport Borough. So you still have to consider the water authority in everything that you do, because then that goes on to their books, and then they have to consider on their budget and stuff. They have to do basically, I'm going to use the term pass through if you don't mind. Basically, then they have to turn around and do a pass through to the Coalport Borough for the surcharge that they have on their water bill.
That goes
and
to
then
the fire
we turn
company.
around. Now
why
listen.
why don't you use your tax collector?
And it's passed on the property owner.
It's not nothing on the property owner, Jack. Jack,
All
it's only on residents.
Yes, which
You're-
means
if
it's
you're an absentee property owner, not living in the borough, you don't get charged that. Only the residents.
goes on the bill.
And I can I speak?
Yeah, you have a right.
I'm thinking back years ago when there was some type of tax that they charged. It was a nightmare trying to keep track of who moved in, when they moved out, where did they go.
Per capita.
Yeah, but how do you follow what I'm saying?
Doesn't.
You have people
it's
that come
never-
and go,
it's
they're here
never
for
all
30
paid
days and they're
either.
gone.
Yeah, the per capita taxes.
Yeah,
We're not even getting all of it collected.
probably not.
There's almost 400 people don't pay per capita tax. That's not fair to me because I pay my per capita tax. And it's only $5 a year.
And you have it's these renters that move and jump around, those are the ones that jump through the loops and skip it and move onward.
The tax collector should be collecting it. And she's not able to keep up with it. I have all the records. If you want to see them, it's that thick.
Well, again, that's why we have Keystone or Berkshire or whatever. Berkheimer. Hey, I was close. It's been a long
We
day.
no longer have Berkheimer. We have
It's Keystone Collection.
Keystone Collections. Yeah. Both the school and we are on
That's
their
what you
docket.
went to Clearfield about for tax collection.
Yeah.
That's
Got
what
it.
you went down there for, was to keep up to date on that.
But all I'm saying, all I'm trying to do is get some money for you. And the fire service fee would have given the fire company $11,500 a year. This surcharge at $5 a month will give you $16,800. Can the fire company use that much money?
Anybody can use that much
Anybody
money,
can.
but
But
you
the-
gotta consider,
The overall picture of everything, Jerry.
That's what I am.
no, you're not, because we have. our
Where
own-
am I not?
We are using, it could affect our other fundraising activities.
That's separate.
No.
That's a separate.
People only have X amount of monies to give.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna charge them $5 a month, okay,
Mhm.
they may not have that $60 a year. It comes to 60, I think. They may only give to the fire company what they can afford, might be 25 or 50. You know, that 60 puts an extra burden onto them, and that's what I'm saying here. And then they're not going to give that directly.
How much do you think that this new council, who some of them are not here, that really have some strong feelings not to have a contract?
I can't speak.
And 3 of us are gone
I know, we can't speak of that, because they are not here to
because
speak of their term.
we're
their
thinking
ideas.
we budgeted more money for our employees. Where's that money going to come from? And hey,
That's why they can't reduce the millage.
no, we could have reduced it 5 mils, easy.
absolutely not.
Oh yeah, we could have. I have it figured out. Hey, I spent time in these. I keep looking it over more and more.
And you gotta consider something else.
Yeah.
The water authority also serves, and I'm willing to listen to anything that we can work things out. But there's something that just came to me, okay? The water authority just doesn't serve Coalport Borough. So Coalport Borough residents have this surcharge on their bill. But then you have Coalport Borough residents who are complaining because they have the surcharge on their bill, and they're thinking, okay, but the Cary Township doesn't have the surcharge on their bill.
No, this was an
And-
ordinance that you have
Well,
to enact.
no, but other people, but Coalport Borough residents don't look at the ordinance. Why are they paying the surcharge when people who also pay to the water authority don't have the surcharge on their bill? And it's not gonna dawn on them why they're paying the surcharge when other residents who pay, when other municipalities who pay to the water authority aren't paying the surcharge.
Also, the water authority has a right for a selection fee.
Yeah, I
Right?
think you could build that into the model. Yeah, I mean, it's something you can consider. I'm
I mean,
trying.
I'm
just
willing
trying
to
to
look
get
at all the options, I am,
I'm trying to get money for the fire company because I'm afraid
but we gotta
that
look at
when
everything.
the new council gets in place, they're not going to want to do a contract or
So
anything.
why don't we look and wait until we see the new council,
That's right.
Reverend Spade?
That's why I tabled
Don't
it.
speak for the new council,
Well, I heard what everybody was talking about.
and that's gossip.
No, I heard it here. It's not gossip.
Well, the
It's
new
what-
council hasn't even sat their butt here yet.
That's right, and that's why I say table it till then, so that they can decide what they're gonna do. But I gave you some option because I was trying to find money for I got 11,500, and now with the surcharge, it would have given the fire company $16,800. And what do you think that they're gonna budget for?
My question, what happens if somebody doesn't pay it?
What's that? Why do you think I had it put on the surcharge on the water company?
Whoa, wait a minute.
No, why didn't the tax collector take care of collecting it and go after them people? Because she doesn't want the hassle, or he or whoever the tax collector would be.
It's their job. Maybe the pay isn't enough, and
Why
I tried
don't you
to
have
find
the,
out.
not to pick on you, why don't you
No,
have
the
secretary
secretary
collect it?
doesn't do it. She doesn't collect anything. That the tax collector. Now we're getting into an issue that needs to go to the personnel committee, and not discuss it openly, but, you know,
Well, it's
about
just like,
collection.
if you put it on the water authority, the secretaries down there, not only are they gonna have to work with dividing and getting this part taking off, that's gonna make more work for them too.
Oh, so let me ask you a question.
Shelley just said it was just a matter of a different
Okay,
account.
let me ask this question.
Yes, sir.
I did my water bill with a $5 surcharge on it.
Mhm.
I pay the water bill, not the $5 surcharge. What are you gonna do?
Well, it's an
If they
ordinance,
shut
it's an
my
ordinance.
water off, we're going to
Yeah,
court,
but who's
because
gonna-
I
who's
paid the
gonna-
water bill.
Who's gonna go to court, who's gonna take it to court?
Well, we would have to do the enforcement and help you, yeah.
See?
But this is what an attorney will ferret out. But
Oh.
any ordinance is a criminal offense. And if it's an ordinance in place, then it can be taken, we would take it to court. Yes. And we'd be along with your attorney. So-
Jerry, we only budgeted $2,000 for solicitor fees.
Bring that up at the first meeting of the year.
It is an option. I just wanted to bring it to the table.
Telling me.
I didn't make a motion, and the fire company's gonna have to think about this too. I mean, I don't think that the new one's gonna be as much as 7,500 as before. I don't know, but it could. Hey, I'll be happy whatever comes out of it. I'll be here to film it.
Okay.
Yield back all my balance.
Finance and treasurer's report.
I printed off the 2020 budget for you guys since I posted it out on the board, the corrected one. I figured I would give you guys the same one. And I got the mail today and I got a paper from the IRS. They are giving us a chance to pay our 2015 delinquency bill. And it is $1,609.05.
Is there penalties and interest on that?
That's what they have on here.
Total amount.
Wow, she did some negotiations. Motion to pay that.
It needs paid by the.
Praise God, praise God.
It's December 19th.
Jerry, Reverend Spade made a motion to pay that. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? Pay it.
Come on.
Anything else, sweetie?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
What was that amount again?
$1,609.05.
There's that buffalo nickel.
I got rid of all my buffalo nickels out of my cash register.
They gotta get that nickel out of us, Reverend Spade.
I just didn't want to mess.
Mm.
You know, Al, you said this one here is the latest updated one then.
No,
No,
Oh, this one
no.
isn't?
That was to show
No.
you the new categories.
Okay.
this one is
Yeah.
the
So
updated.
this one here.
Yes.
Okay, got that.
This
Okay.
one right here?
No, that is the budget report for November to let you guys know what I paid out of what chart of account number.
Was there much stuff changed from this one to the other one? or
No, it was
it's
just changing the LOs or the EIT.
But what I see is our expenses at different than what you have here. What changed? Just the EIT, I thought was all that we changed.
Yeah, the EIT is the only thing that was changed.
Yeah. And we're adopting by resolution this budget, this meeting, is that correct?
Is the audit completed yet?
Is it what?
Audit.
Not yet. They're still working on that. They should have it done this month. They estimated it would be done on the 5th.
Oh,
They said it would be done on the 5th.
That's the time that they estimated, yeah.
And if we're gonna use this auditor before December 31st, you have to vote to appoint them for the following year.
the whole list, that your engineering and everything should be.
Well, no, this is separate. If you're doing appointed auditors, they must be appointed prior to December 13th. It's in the statute. But you're correct, Mr. Vice President, in the new meeting that you have to appoint different,
Yes.
your solicitors and your engineer and your officers.
Mhm.
I think it's 116 of the Borough Code. It's 105 of the Borough Code. Section 7B. I got, with the new calculations, I got $172,316.62 for revenue, and expenses total.
I see where you have that 114,904.54.
Expenses, yeah, 114,000. Yeah, so where is the discrepancy? Now, I put liquid fuels that we will get in March 2020 as 25,800, because I didn't have my, Miss Amon told us specifically what it would be.
And they're on here too, but I don't know what. Liquid fuels is 20, it's 25 even on here, which that's a good number because it can vary.
Mhm.
Because we've had a little bit more, but years before that, we were a lot less than that.
EIT, well, I see where it is. Real estate tax.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
I took the actual of what county actually told us was gonna be, and it was $55,426.29. We only budgeted for real estate
For
45,000.
Which is more realistic,
Yeah,
Which one?
the
the 45.
45 is more realistic
It could
because
be.
of just what we've lost so far.
Yeah. And the EIT was 34,000.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And then we said about keeping it at 30,000.
30. So there's where the differences are.
Yeah, you got 10 right there alone on that one, and 4 on that one
That's
right
14.
there. Mhm. Yeah, I think it was even last year. We dropped it. I think we had it at 50 last year and we dropped
40.
it down. We have it, what, 40?
Yeah, and I told them to raise it up, and he argued with me.
Yeah. Yeah, because we do get, the end of this month and first, so far into January, we do get some in, a couple thousand, but, you know, it's not a lot, but it's some that we're, pay at the last minute type of a thing.
We're under everything on the expense, for income.
And everything else is pretty much, I take it's pretty much the same on the rest of it. Go over here for this part. Gross wages. Your social security is a little bit less.
Jerry, what did you say was missing? What'd you say that you got for expenditures?
Expenditures was $114,904.54. Now, when we went to classes, Noel was it, they thought that they was trying to get us to separate your municipal services department stuff, liquid fuels and all that, into its own budgetary. That's why this section here is like this. It's separate. I put street lighting down here, but you all had it up here in general fund. So
I just added all this up right here.
uh-huh.
I did not get 120,000. I got 140,300.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you take and stick, if you put liquid fuels monies in there, you come up to $172,316.62. And I tried to get as close to actual. And then I put street lightings under municipal services, which was your liquid fuels. But that's what's only a suggestion. The real budget is the one that you're dealing with that Noel did. That's the one we tentatively adopted. I just put my opinions in this paper that I gave you, the second paper. So you got 140 on the one that
Oh, yeah.
is showing 100. Well, mine does.
We already agreed on a budget, a tentative budget to get us started till this was completed. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, we voted on it, right?
Well, just to advertise it.
Okay.
Just to advertise our tentative budget. That's what
Okay.
we did. Now we have to adopt it. So
Harvey ain't adopted nothing until some numbers jam here.
Well, mine was computed by the computer, but
Yeah, well, the computer's only as good as the numbers you plug into it.
yeah, well, I would have to have my computer here, but I could reverse that from the 55,000 to 45,000. But I also took out, like I said, I took the full 8,000 for the lighting. And let's see, she has it under general fund.
You also have to remember that anti-skid, salt, and all of the other little things like that, even if you're gonna get any kind of cold patch and stuff, that has to come out of liquid fuels too.
Well, we have 5,000 for winter maintenance is what I was thinking, but
Okay.
That's awful light. Especially if
It
we have
could
an
have-
ice storm.
Well,
Yes.
If we have an ice storm, that's awful light.
especially as much as salt is right now, and it's
Right.
gotta go up. It's 80 a ton.
So we take fractions this year.
80 now, it'll be 90 later on in the year. And we don't have a contract, we just go get it ourselves.
Where at?
Noel, is this what's
Crescent, I
advertised out
think. I
there?
think they're
Yeah.
going to Crescent to get it. So somebody must, it either comes in by rail up to there, or
Well, that could be through Lansbury then. That would be through Woodland Supply.
that's who used to haul it here, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they were hauling from American Russell. We always dealt with the state. We were always in on the piggyback.
No,
Well, we're
that's
getting,
when we had a contract. We don't have a contract anymore.
Why?
we have a good deal.
Well, a former president did away with anything with the contracts we had with them. They had done away with it. We don't have a contract. If it comes push to shove in the middle of the winter, we can't fall back and say that we were gonna take 50 ton, but we can go over 50 ton, but we only have to take up to 30 or something close to that, 30 or 35.
75 tons what it was, but had to take 60 ton, which was 2 loads,
Yes, yeah,
right?
but roughly 23 a
Right,
ton.
right.
Yep.
And we should go up to 110 ton.
I remember what I did. The paving would come out of liquid fuel, so I didn't add that with the.
So we're
general
okay,
fund
we're
one.
good?
Yeah, you guys are fine.
But
Oh, on the paving on the very bottom here.
Yeah, I didn't include that because it's the general
We
fund
have, we
budget.
have a good deal that Calvin, or Councillor Glass developed. And they guaranteed that for this year, that's my understanding.
No.
No.
Take the whole thing.
Just take,
Take the whole thing.
help yourself.
I just went, I'm nosy, that's all.
that's not a good deal. We were paying $65 last year.
Tell us what we have to pay on salt. I don't remember.
Oh,
That was last year though.
80 right.
No, that's just
80
this year. We
it's
can go-
80.
We can go and get what we need.
It's
That's-
80
We were
right now,
locked
and it's got to go to
into,
90. I'm pretty sure.
we
Where's
were
what?
locked into a price.
Mhm.
We were locked
Before?
into it. With this company, we were locked into a price.
The new one?
Yes, and it was better than what we were getting.
Yes, it was.
Well, I know it's supposed to go as high as 136.
No.
No.
Not ours. No, not ours. Just general salt for this winter is supposed to go high. Well, they've changed since then because it was supposed.
How much is sand?
And I said,
Just sand.
I don't know.
I don't know. Never bought sand. We just get in.
Why
We're getting
why couldn't we mix sand with
Salt.
the salt?
Because the sand would cake, whenever it gets wet, it would cake and
Freeze,
Would
it would,
absorb.
solidify.
the
It
thing,
it clogs the auger up
That-
in the
thank
in
you.
the spinner wheel.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
All right, just a suggestion. Trying
yeah,
to
because I
think out-
remember Mary telling us about that, about how she has somebody that she helps that they mix sand with it.
Yes.
Yes, there's places in Pennsylvania that use
The northern towns.
sand, but it's not sand
northern
as we
towns.
think of. It's more like a small sandstone.
Yeah.
That's what it's more. And then when it's drove over, it actually crushes it up, and the road looks like it's kind of muddy on the road, but it's crushed up. It's crushed up sand. I've seen some of it down. I think I've seen some on 11 down around the other part
That's
of the state.
unusual. It's always up north.
They used it here one time that I can remember, and everybody complained about how dirty the roads were from it.
Was the this liquid sea salt or whatever is liquid that
You're
they
talking
use?
about the
The
brine?
calcified,
You can make your own brine.
Can you?
We could make our own brine.
Whoa.
It's not. It's a.
But the brine the state's using is not brine.
Theirs is actually salt water.
No, they use
Is it?
calcium.
Theirs is
Calcium,
magnesium chloride. And that's why their toys are rusting out, because salt, the water washes the salt away. But water and magnesium react, and they don't wash it away.
I'm not a chemist, I won't argue with you.
okay, what else do we got?
That's all I
Are
got.
we good on the do we have the budget straightened out that you know where
I'm
you're?
not in a panic now.
Okay.
She explained it to me and I'm okay.
Okay.
Good.
Well, and for right now, I'm gonna make a motion that we accept this, budget for 2020, because when the new, council comes on, they have the option of reopening it up and making any corrections that they would need to have on it.
Second
We need a
motion.
resolution on that, don't we?
Resolution?
Yeah, need a
Okay.
resolution.
Resolution,
I second that.
whichever number it be, I'm not sure.
13.
I third it.
13.
13.
So your present council is opposing giving the fire company anything in the new budget? The
No.
present council, well, there's nothing.
No,
in here.
no, I'm in favor of giving this up.
There's nothing there.
There's
Jack.
nothing in
That's,
there.
that's what I
That's
said
what-
earlier, that's what
That's why I
I said.
said it has to be in the new council.
Right, they have a right to open the budget up, but the present council is not giving, will not include anything in the budget.
That's what they all voted to do.
I mean, you have it
No,
right
no,
here
they didn't
tonight.
all vote to do
Tonight.
that.
Tonight you have the final proposal.
We have to adopt it.
Yes,
We have to.
I agree,
adopt it.
but what I'm saying, Jerry, is
Yeah.
the present council,
Yeah, there's
right
nothing
here,
on it. That-
you four,
Yeah.
do
there's
not want to
nothing
give
on
the
it.
fire company anything.
There's nothing on it originally.
We
It's
are,
not-
but I'm waiting to add it onto the budget until you guys negotiate
Right,
and
but the
figure something
numbers,
out.
the numbers aren't showing any.
We have
But
to
this is
adopt.
exactly what I
We have
said.
to adopt what
We
we
need
did. It
Put
should.
it in the budget
any
tonight,
negotiation should be
unless the
weeks
new
ago.
council
Months ago.
questions it,
I agree.
they disagree.
I mean, but this,
Yeah.
it's,
Thank you, that's all, I just,
yeah, it's, this budget is exactly what everybody voted to do. Tentatively, last.
and tonight's the night where you approve.
We
And you have a
have to.
motion.
We
you have a
should
motion on
add the
floor.
fire company into the
Sorry.
budget tonight.
No, you have a right in
They-
discussion to, anybody from the audience can say anything.
They're sitting here right now, let's talk to them and find out. Would they
It's
sell it for
already
4?
been
Would they sell it
tabled.
for 5?
I object,
I mean, we have it.
I object. This has already been tabled lawfully.
Sorry to interrupt your motion. but you
No.
have a
Oh,
motion.
that's good.
You have a motion on the floor.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is a- this
actually,
is
I'll
discussion.
rescind my second.
I'll rescind my first.
Just got done writing everything.
Yeah, you can take that out, we're gonna start all over again.
Sorry.
This is a panic to do something that we haven't even,
I don't think we're panicking.
to put something in the budget tonight? It was not.
Let me turn around and ask this question. Tell them, what do you propose?
Personally, I have my own thoughts, but I think the company would settle for 4,000.
4,000.
I mean, we're talking, Barbie, you and I, we talked earlier, we're only proposing.
Yeah.
You know, until they get the new council and
And the
everything,
new
and that's
council still
all.
has the right to change the budget.
If you changed your
I
budget,
don't agree.
if
I
you,
think this is wrong. We tabled it because this is what the other councilors voted on.
but you have to approve a tentative budget tonight, Jerry.
No, this is it. We're adopting a budget.
Okay, you're adopting it, but you've
We
already.
have to by
You
law.
went in and, you went in and changed your numbers from the last meeting till tonight.
But it doesn't matter. We have to adopt it.
And I agree,
I'll make a
change your
motion.
numbers again
Yeah.
tonight. You changed them earlier this evening.
And you said your new council gets to vote on it
The
anyway.
new council gets to
Yeah.
open it up and change it to
That's right.
what they wanna do.
I'm in agreement with that.
But the motion
The fire
was to
company has
to table
proposed
this.
accepting a
Did
contract.
we make an emotion or
I
did we
did,
just?
No,
and I
we
stand
did not
on
make a
that.
Was
motion
there a
for-
motion to table it or did he just suggest
There was,
to table
but there wasn't.
You don't
Nobody
vote,
seconded it.
you don't vote on it. It's been a motion to table.
But it's got to be voted on, it wasn't voted on. The fire company has proposed a $4,000
But the net income would only be 3,700. We wouldn't have 4,000 to do with.
right.
I thought it was just a suggestion.
Oh, so,
Okay, wait a minute.
so change it
Would
to
y'all consider 3,000?
35.
Work with me, please.
I did, I split the difference.
All right,
That's not splitting the difference.
4,000 to 3,000. You
We
said
only
3.
have 37, you're
And I said,
you're
you said
leaving us $200.
you said 3,000, I said 35, half the difference.
I was gonna go down to 2.
And I agree with what you guys are saying. It's it's for the budget tonight, and it's gonna be, Jerry, you're absolutely right. The new council's gonna be able to go back in
And
and,
it has to be done in a contract. I think this stampeding to do something is,
I don't think they're stampeding to do
No,
something. I think they've waited all stinking year for us to even negotiate with them to even do anything, which they have been very nice about us even doing
and
that.
Jerry, this is for 2020.
Ian,
We didn't receive
Didn't
anything
get
for
anything till
19.
that's right.
Whatever he's not.
That's what the council voted
Yeah, I know,
at that time.
I know.
I just wanted to throw out there, like, this is just like kind of so you guys have an idea of something to give the next council as to what they might want to include in the budget. They can reopen it,
Yes.
and we still need to, between us and between you guys, need to have 2 committees sit down and talk about a contract with
Absolutely.
more
Yes.
terms than just a month.
Yes.
We just don't wanna leave nothing in there at all, so the new committee looks at it and says, well, there's nothing in there, so it doesn't matter. We
Yeah.
don't need to do anything with it.
No, because we've already said we're gonna have
And
a
I've
contract.
said all
We
year
need a
long, we're gonna work
solicitors to do
something out.
Right, this
And-
isn't,
But this has nothing to do with the
It
contract.
just seems
This
like
is just to give
everything's
the
been
next
snowballed
council an
all
idea.
year long. And I think the fire company has been very patient. And I think the fire company,
What are we budgeting, a contractual thing or a donation?
we are not
We don't make
budgeting a
donations.
contractual thing. There is no contract with the fire company right now.
we're just asking.
So how are we gonna budget something?
Professional
that-
fee. Throw it under your professional fee.
I agree.
It's for,
Alright.
professional fees.
Or even throwing it under the fire company, that's fine.
It's just a suggestion so that it's on there, so we have something to work with next year. It's not a contract, it's not a legally binding thing, it's just a.
People say that they get a budget every year, and I agree, they get a budget, but a budget doesn't mean you have to stick to it. You can
It's a
change from one
guideline, just
category.
what to work with.
Yeah,
What's the new figures gonna be then?
put under fire company on your budget, the
Uh,
3,500,
According to this, without any changing,
and you're going to end up with a surplus of $200. Possible net income, you're calling it.
not
For
according to
2020.
this, I think you're
Am I
going,
looking at the wrong one, Jerry?
we have to balance it. This
No,
is,
you don't have
this,
to balance it, Jerry.
yes, you do.
No.
Yeah, you can't have more expenditure than
And we're not gonna have more
No,
expenses.
you have
Okay.
more income than you
As
have
long as-
expenditures.
what our treasurer says.
We're still gonna have some money left over for the revenue.
200 surplus.
Yeah, we would at least have 200.
Okay, your expenditure.
So it's
And then you
just
flip
over the
over,
35.
you're gonna decrease this by 3,500, and come up to a $200 deposit.
It has been one
But that's
hell
what
of a
I'm
day, and
looking
I'm
at.
just gonna stay home
You,
ball.
are you
Just
saying
relax.
35 is what
Well,
you?
that's what
I mean, technically you
said
can
four,
call it
but
recess.
Marty wanted to negotiate, and she said three, and I said
You have $200 left if you do 35. And it'll be balanced, it'll be
You know
balanced.
what? I'm one person, all right? It's up to,
It's confusing, and I understand why Barbie's getting a headache.
Well,
I make a motion that we include $3,500 in the budget for the fire company towards a contract.
Slash agreement, professional fees.
I still.
Yeah,
Professional.
I agree. Professional fees.
I second it, cause I just run through it, and yeah, we still we're gonna break even and have a little bit left over, so I'll second it.
$200.
Yeah, we can even buy a box of Cuban cigars with that.
There's no embargo anymore.
Volunteer to answer the phone.
no, you don't.
Hey, there's Walt. We had a question about salt and that. And
Okay, he's
Later.
going to answer the phone.
He'll get the phone, he'll.
Properly moved and seconded, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed.
I didn't even ask
Oh.
that question yet. All right,
That's a roll call, we're gonna have an opposed there.
all right, let's do a roll call vote.
Are we gonna have a tie?
President Barbie
The
You're
mayor.
supposed to do me last.
No, I am not. I found that out at the training seminar. I am not supposed to do you last. It doesn't matter.
Whoa,
It's-
good
it's-
job, good.
It is,
good job.
it is,
I don't
it
know
is,
what it was,
according
that's-
to the
that's what
questions
goes
and answers, she should, because that way she's impartial. And as a president, she has to be impartial.
Whenever I went to the training seminar, Wendy said that it absolutely did not matter.
I'm gonna
Jack,
call,
you're
I'm gonna
president
call
of the water
Wendy.
authority. Do they do you first or do?
No, I sometimes don't even vote
Who
as a
stands?
chairman, because I am the tiebreaker as the chairman of our.
He's like
So
your
the
mayor.
mayor's a tiebreaker here.
But here, the mayor is the tiebreaker if there is
Yeah, you have
a,
to
such a
call her if you
thing.
need to break the tie.
My understanding, when you do a roll call, I think it just kind of almost means that you're another member of council. It doesn't really matter
Yeah.
what order, because you have no tie-breaking role.
All right, go ahead. Roll call vote.
President Barbie Trent,
Yes.
Vice President Joe Adam,
Yes,
Calvin Glass, Robert Lee, Jack Root,
Yes.
Reverend Gerald Spade,
No,
Kevin Swagger,
well, 3,500 doesn't seem like much, but it's better than what you got in 19.
And this is only a proposal, like Barbie said, until the committee
Yeah,
and council
It can be,
gets a
the
committee
next
and,
ca-
and
the
negotiate.
new council can change it. I hope they let it in. Maybe they can work something out a little bit different. I don't know. It's hard to say exactly how they're gonna work it out. That it depends on who's coming on, because I've heard one say they're not gonna take the position if such and such doesn't take the position, so there may be 2 or 3 seats open.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You two are in the fire department, right?
Mhm.
That means you guys can't vote because it's a conflict of interest. So then it would be a tie
He's
vote.
not an officer.
But he's still in the fire company and it would still
Doesn't
benefit
matter.
him
He
in some
does
way.
not have an invested interest in the
don't-
fire
yeah.
company.
it's still a conflict of interest, I agree.
I thought it was still a conflict of interest because he's still in the fire company.
No, but they're elected positions on council as well, and they're volunteering as fire company. I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think back years ago when we had the old timers on council that were members of both.
But it's
I do not feel it's a conflict of interest. Whether I belong to the fire company or not, my vote would be that way.
I make a motion that the solicitor be approached on the conflict. of
I am
interest.
not paying a solicitor to do this.
I think it's right, though. You have a right to a question.
Just to get it in the books, what if we get it for like $1,000?
I'll send a question. Is there an objection?
I mean, there's no harm in at least asking, not like have him meet with us or something, just me shoot him a
And,
quick
and
email.
you realize that for him to answer this email, that it's gonna cost the borough money.
For a quick yes or no.
No, he'll have to research it. When he researches
He'll be at
it,
least
he'll be
an hour or
charged
two
for
on
it.
Research is where the money's tied up.
So-
That's something.
So in other words, Jack or Joe cannot make the motion, and in other words, it's only Barbie's vote and your vote, Jerry.
Yes, right, and mine is
And
no.
it's a tie
because-
vote.
And it's a tie vote,
So you have to call the mayor.
Yeah,
have
and the mayor's absent.
We can do correspondence though.
Can
we
you?
have so
And
many
actually,
days to
we-
have another
we
meeting.
could call
7, I think
Kevin.
it is.
And he could, if he repeated his votes twice
Well,
on the
you know
phone.
what? If we're having so many days to have another meeting, I'm having Christmas play practice Friday night and I'm free Thursday night,
Yeah, but don't forget you have to have your budget by a certain date, Jerry. am I right on
13th
that?
or 15th,
Yeah,
Friday 15th.
Oh.
it's no contract. I just
But
can't
it's not
see
a
the
contract.
logistics.
It's just in the budget, so it's like a
What
placeholder.
good is it there? Because it's not under a contract.
It's
Put it on
just-
your
Okay,
professional
so
fees.
what
Why-
harm is it in being there?
Why did the prior?
How did it get there?
Why did the prior council do it and have it in the budget?
Because they had a contract with you. Yeah.
And
what we paid in 2019 was for 2018.
that's correct.
Yeah. So we paid nothing to you all year. And
Okay.
It's just a step to showing good faith that moving forward, the borough is willing to work
That's
with
what
us.
it is.
we had a lot of good faith. I can't imagine you settling for $3,500 when I could have got you $16,800.
No.
And if we would have had the fire service fee, which the secretary was just as angry as I was that we didn't do that, that was $11,500.
If everybody paid.
Even if they didn't, is in percentage wise, it was 9,000 and some dollars.
But
That
Jerry,
was
your
far
argument was people don't pay per capita tax now, and you wanted to get rid of the per capita tax.
$385 worth of per capita
There you go.
isn't being paid. That's why we
So
made
the
it
fire company
12.
still wasn't going to get their money.
There's
Right.
This isn't a contract, it's just a figure to put us in there.
Yeah. Just
It's a
so
placeholder.
council,
you're
next council has an idea.
you're already in there.
No, we're
We-
not.
we-
No, we're not. Where are we in there, Jerry? You show me where.
We have a category for fire.
Yes,
You
you
have
have
to-
They
you
get
have
the
two-
pass
you
through
have
because
two
we
line
are
items
legally
in there.
But
obligated
those,
to do that.
you're
And they
obligated.
get the workman's comp because we're legally obligated
All
to do
those
that.
are two obligations that you have to do. Yeah, there's a column in there,
Yeah.
but it's all it's mandatory that the borough does it. It's not something that you're free willingly doing. It's mandatory that you take care of the workman's comp for them and you do the pass through.
And we had councillors that voiced that they felt that was
More
enough.
than enough.
More than enough.
Well, I
And-
know that.
You're gonna have a whole new
That's
set
why
of
nothing
councillors
happened in
in a month.
19.
I just object to this whole thing because
But yet you've done all this legwork to try and get the money to begin with.
that's right. And I want it done right. I feel pressured into something that we shouldn't have done. It should have been handled months ago. And we talked about it. We voted to do it. Why wasn't it done? Nobody brought
I
in.
don't know, Jerry. How about no solicitor for how many freaking months?
Yeah.
How about every time I turn around, I'm reading numerous emails? How about I work full time and
So
then
do
I'm
I.
handling stinking things on the phone in between patients and my job and my dad dying and dealing with everything else under the sun?
Each one of us could bring the same argument.
And yes, we
and
can.
My business has suffered a lot because I spend hours and hours and
You
hours.
spend hours and hours and hours on things that you really don't need to be doing.
$69,000.
Yes, I
Wow.
applaud you for the work that you did on that. I applaud you.
That takes
That,
time.
yes,
If
it does.
nobody should be on this council if they don't have 25 hours to invest as a gift to this borough, because it takes time. And yes, we needed committees. We should have had a committee to deal with the fire company months ago. I can't do your job as president. I can't do your job.
You know, the committees work really good.
They
if
do.
everybody
And I agree.
shows up that is on a committee. But when you show up and you're the only person for that particular committee and you're sitting here and you're scratching some figures down trying to figure something out, then you take it and they go, well, boy, that sucked. I said, well, you know, you were the only one there, so now you're gonna beat it like a dead horse, so.
Well, that's what happened to me for 8 years. And what did I do? I advertised for people, and people got on my committee, and there went counselor. The counselors that were supposed to be there maybe came to one meeting. That was it.
But I can't.
And we had Black Diamond because my committee had outside people on that committee.
But we're not asking for a contract, this isn't a legally binding
Yeah,
thing,
that's-
we're just asking for a figure.
To include something in your budget.
We're asking
That's
for a
what-
line item on the budget for a fire contract or whatever you want to call it.
Agreement or
You
Put
keep
a
saying
dollar
legal
on it.
document.
Put a
No
dollar.
way. That's an insult.
because the contract has to be
Reverend Spade.
done, and I'm all for a contract.
And
That-
I'm
and workman's
telling you
comp
right now,
says that we should.
this is done. I mean, if y'all, if you wanna have another meeting, that's just fine. I'm okay with it. I mean, we wanna attempt to get more counselors here and you
Can I-
wanna put this to a vote again?
Can-
I'm good with that.
Can I suggest that you've already made your motions and went through your approval, that you hinge it upon the solicitors,
I'm not for spending more money though, Jack.
I
I'm
know,
just not.
but it may be a 15-minute call where he may charge you $50. Being, he gets $200 an hour.
All legal matters.
Okay, you know what? We'll put that to a motion. Y'all wanna spend money to call the solicitor and find out if these two were legally, or were within their right to make this motion and vote for
So
this?
move.
You're making that motion?
Yes.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second to spend that money to just make one phone call?
One phone call, just one call.
One phone call to
Yeah,
see
but
if
then,
you two were
what's
in
it
that
gonna
right.
amount to? What's it gonna amount to?
Well, if we
That's
do
a
it
point.
with one phone
One
call.
phone call or one email.
Okay,
Take your pick.
and not a ton of back and forth.
And you have to accept whatever he says.
Absolutely.
And you leave the man alone.
He's the solicitor.
I'll give the second for that, for one email or one phone call, not 100 back and forth where
Okay.
we end up
No, it's
with a lot of
Whatever
money.
it says.
It's in the hands of our secretary. We made that a rule.
That's right. We made it a
Okay.
rule. It's in her hands.
All right.
He seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Email the man tomorrow.
Thank you, Madam President.
Moving right along. Do I have a motion to pay the bills? What the heck? Okay,
I don't wanna talk about it.
all right, we won't talk about it. To keep the borough running until the next regular meeting.
I make a motion that we pay all bills that come forth to keep the borough up and operating till our next meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carried. Pay the dang bills so we're not paying late fees. Anybody have anything for the good of the borough?
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to enter in the minutes that I returned back to the borough, and I returned the key for this building to the borough.
You
Aye.
need that.
I will be done the 31st of this month.
I know, but we may have another meeting.
Well, if we do, I hope I'm here. Third thing, I also want to add, I'm a representative to the Water Authority, and I will gladly remain as a representative to the Water Authority.
Okay, good, thank you.
Well, I also have something for the good of the borough. I would like to recognize Jack and Joe and Reverend Spade. This might be their last meeting, for their service with the borough. I believe Joe has been serving for 12 years. Oh my goodness, I don't know how long you've been.
1996.
1996.
23.
Reverend Spade, I don't know how your first run
10. I
was
have
10
10.
years, and you
But count-
almost you have a little over a year in.
Well, combining what it had last year and what I was appointed before I was elected for 8 years. So I just say it's 10 years.
10 years. So, all for your years of service to Coalport Borough, I'd like to take this time to say thank you for your, and as Reverend Spade said, it takes a lot of time and effort. This is all volunteer, and what goes on behind the scenes here at the borough. People don't have a clue. The hours of paperwork and, phone calls and meetings and, filing and just, trying to help the borough run smoothly, is tremendous. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate everything that you gentlemen have done over the years to, give of yourself to the borough, and also your families, what they have done, while you did your, volunteer time with the borough. And, I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
On behalf of Coalport Borough, thank you so much for the time and effort that you have put in.
You're absolutely right. People don't realize how much time it does take. I have spent 4 years on council, plus an additional 2 years as assistant secretary for the borough. So, I have a little bit of knowledge behind me on the council, and you're absolutely right. People don't realize how much time there is between times that you gotta put in. And like Jerry said, to make it work properly.
Oh, yeah.
I also have my fifth point as thank the borough for the privilege of being appointed to this position to carry out the term of Honorable Catherine Oshel. And I was 10 years, and I had the privilege of being on the grants committee, which I saw the grants for the flood control, which only a little bit has to be done that could have been finished. And Black Diamond Estates came out of my committee, and there's several other ones. But the last thing I want to say is, I want to thank you that I had the privilege to be the last one of 7 councillors in Coalport Borough. Next year will be 5 councillors. Thank you, Madam President. I make a motion to adjourn unless you have something else, unless the other ones.
I have something, just take a minute. Walt, did you contact somebody about welding the door, the coal chute door?
Yeah, I have a name here, but I didn't call him yet.
Okay, he come up and looked at it today. He's willing to do it. He says he's pretty sure he can do it.
Okay.
I consider reasonable that it's under what used to be, what we could go under, as far as we didn't have to get approval on the old one. It'd be about $25 to $30, somewhere in that ballpark.
Or sure be chasing the lid
Yes.
down the hole.
And also, the other one, if we want any coal from them, it'll be 105 a ton, and it does not have a rock in it.
Right, yeah.
It's not saying
I'm
that
gonna
if
get
you
it
won't
this week.
find 1 or 2, there's not gonna be 5-gallon buckets of rock.
Yeah. I talked to him, I said about this week.
Okay, all right. Well, you get a hold of the one that if you don't have a name, I'll give you the name of the one that said he could weld it, cause I warned him about that possibly being in lead, down in there, how that was heated. And he thinks with it being as cold as it is outside, and then with putting rags around it that way, that it should, if it does move a little bit, as soon as it cools, it should be good
Okay,
on that part. So he has a way about that he's gotta do it.
okay.
That's pretty much all I have for that part there, other than just thanking the people of the borough of Coalport for believing in me to try to help them for the last 12 years that way. So I appreciated them voting and having faith in me, and I did what I could do when I could do it. So it is what it is.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I gave it.
I know, but you did it before he was done.
Well, there was one issue with the person that knows about salt. How much?
Oh, yes.
How much are we paying for salt?
80.
80.
And we get later into the year, it's 89 or 90, isn't it?
Right, and we can get 4 ton at a time instead of a tandem load.
And you're going to Crescent, correct?
Right, and we shouldn't need any for a while.
Okay.
We should get through the winter.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Huey.
Does your motion still stand?
It still stands.
Do I have a
Thank you
second?
for the letting me bring Mr. Huey into the situation.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Now, wait till you turn the camera off.
Merry Christmas.